What's going on, guys? Enders here. Welcome back to another video. This is easily the most requested video I've had since Season 6. This is every single most optimized best weapon setup for every single weapon in Battlefield 2042. Updated, of course, to Season 6, including the new Season 6 weapons. A lot of stuff has changed since the last weapon setup video that I did for Season 5. Some attachments have fallen out of favor, some weapon setups have completely changed, and some I've optimized a little bit and they're only slightly different. So this is going to be a very long video. I'm going to separate this video by weapon section. I'm going to go through secondaries and then basically just go from left to right. I'll separate it in chapters for your easy viewing pleasure. And as always, like the video, hit the subscribe button. That really helps the channel out. And join the Discord, follow me on Instagram, follow me on Twitter. All links are in the description. And check out my new mouse pads. Use code ENDERS for 10% off. If you buy one, be sure to @ me on Twitter, Instagram, or Discord with a picture of it on your setup. I would love to see it. Now then, let us start with the Glock. The Glock is, of course, the best secondary in Battlefield 2042 for a very, very long time. I prefer the Arcom Tactical Muzzle Brake ever since they completely fucked the recoil on it, and a certain someone made it do a figure 8 when you shoot it. Either use Arcom Tactical Muzzle Brake or the Factory Barrel. As always, this applies to every single weapon I mentioned in this video. Sights are personal preference. There is no meta when it comes to weapon sights. Use Arcom Tactical Muzzle Brake or Factory Barrel. Laser sights for better hipfire and close combat drum magazine. And as a general rule for every single weapon in this entire video, you're going to want to make sure that your magazine slots and generally under barrel slots, sometimes barrel slots, are filled out with attachments. For specific weapons such as the Glock, I don't really use anything other than this, so I don't. Moving on to the MP28. The best setup with this would most likely be Factory Barrel, laser sight, and when you get standard drum, use standard drum and then use standard issue, put standard issue extended here, then standard issue. That would be the best setup for this weapon. For the Model 44, there's not much to talk about. In fact, there is actually nothing to talk about. There it is. There's the setup for that. PF51. Use Factory Barrel instead of Tactical Compensator. So Factory Barrel, laser sight, and then use standard issue. For the NVK, do not sleep on this gun. It is absolutely nuts. Factory Barrel, laser sight, and use standard issue extended, standard issue, then subsonic if you want to keep extra rounds. Super 500, this weapon is actually viable since the shotgun fix, I believe, in update 6.0. Factory Barrel, there's nothing there. Use #1 buckshot or flechette. Don't use slugs, they're really not that good. The new Season 6 sidearm, it's not that great, it's not terrible. It's actually super fun to use, and I find it to be just a blast. Use the Factory Barrel, laser sight, and close combat extended, and then once you get all the magazines, just fill out all this stuff out as a general rule. Deagle, probably the strongest sidearm in Battlefield 2042 in terms of raw damage. It is completely nuts. Factory Barrel, laser sight, and use high power for those quick 2 taps. It does 75 damage in close range to the chest, which is absolutely nuts. 1911, Factory Barrel, and close combat extended on that. Rex, they updated this gun. It is good. If you have not used this gun, I recommend trying out again. It can one-shot you in the head out to 40 meters. Factory Barrel, there's nothing really to talk about there. Unfortunately, DICE add attachments to these guns, god damn it. For the 93R, you're gonna probably want to use the Warhawk compensator on this gun, or the Factory Barrel. And you, of course, use the extended mag. And then finally, for the secondary slot, for the MP443, use Factory Barrel, Tactical Light. No. Factory Barrel, do not use Tactical Light because it'll give you a position away. And then use close combat extended. Moving on to the SMG category, the PBX-45. As a general rule, I will most likely not be recommending suppressors as of Season 6. If you don't know what they did to them, they completely ruined them and made them only effective if you combine them with subsonic ammunition, which is, of course, very depressing, and I'm sad about it. Subscribe to the channel if you're depressed about suppressors. Use Factory Barrel, BCG light grip, or laser sight. Use laser sight if you want to really emphasize this gun's close quarter abilities. Use BCG light grip if you want to extend this weapon's effective range. I like close combat ammo, standard issue extended, and high power. You can switch between Standard issue extended and close combat as my two personal favorite ammo types. High power is sort of a niche thing, but it's nice to have. PP29, this weapon has gotten nerfed and buffed and nerfed again, and things changed about it, bugs fixed about it. As of right now, you're going to want to use tactical compensator and standard issue. That is the best setup I find for this gun. Reason I recommend tactical compensator over factory barrel with this weapon is they recently fixed a bug that fixed its moving accuracy being better than its stationary accuracy. So yeah, it definitely got a big indirect nerf there. MP9, they nerfed this gun on the ground for no reason. Hashtag buff the MP9. Either use the factory barrel or the Arcom tactical muzzle brake. I like the Arcom combined with the BCG light grip and the close combat drum. I don't recommend using the MGL laser sight because I don't really think this gun has that much recoil anyway, especially when you get rid of all the horizontal recoil with the Arcom. Moving on to the K30. Use the Arcom tactical muzzle brake or factory barrel, and then use the MGL laser sight. This gun is really not that great at range at all, so I just recommend fully bolstering its close quarter abilities. Arcom, MGL laser, and standard issue drum. And then, of course, remember to fill out all your magazine slots with your ammunition of choice. AC9, a better K30, just straight up better. Arcom tactical muzzle brake, BCG light grip, close combat extended for 1080 RPM instantaneous killing. P90, absolutely awful weapon, especially after they nerfed it for no reason. Do not use this gun, it is terrible. Definitely default muzzle, laser sight, and standard issue. Nothing much to talk about there, but don't use that gun because it's bad anyway. AKS-74U. This gun got a little better. Factory barrel, laser sight, and standard issue extended. I don't really recommend using the Cobra grip as you're not really going to be standing still with an SMG ideally. And the SMG that's most slept on, in my opinion, the PP2000 is insane, ladies and gentlemen. Be sure to use the tactical compensator and standard issue extended. This gun has a deceptive range and a TTK effectiveness. Moving on to the AR category. Again, if you're enjoying the content and you find this helpful, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel and check out my new Mousepads. I would really appreciate that. Sorry if I'm talking fast. This video is going to be very long. M5A3, the Trident tested AR in Battlefield 2042. Although sort of power crept out of the meta. Short barrel. I like LWG grip, or you can try to run the new laser sights or BCG grip. Any of those attachment choices are great. You're really not going to notice much difference at all. Definitely run 40mm HE, Master Key, or incendiary grenade launchers, though. In general, with weapons with grenade launcher underbarrels, fill them out because they're incredibly effective, and they share separate ammo pools, which is nuts. So, shortened barrel, LWG, BCG, or STNR laser sight, and then standard issue extended, close combat, high power. Moving on to the AM40, which is also extremely good. I like using the tactical compensator on this weapon. I find it extends its effective range quite a bit. If you find the recoil too much, use the factory barrel, MGL laser sight, and standard issue drum, high power extended, and then high power. AK-24, unfortunately, really not a great AR anymore. I recommend using either tactical compensator or factory barrel, BCG light grip. In general, fill out your grenade launcher attachments, then use standard issue drum magazine, standard issue extended, and high power extended. With the Scar H, a lot of people ask me what this skin is whenever I do this video. It is the pacifier skin. That is how you get the special quote-unquote pay-to-win red dot sight that is way clearer than the other red dot sights on this gun. Use tactical compensator. All the underbarrels are going to be grenades. Just pick out what you want. Then high power drum, high power, and standard issue. AC-42, an extremely nuts gun, especially if you're on controller, because controller gets 25% less recoil, both horizontal and vertical, and 25% less harsh first shot recoil multiplier, which means that on burst weapons it applies every single burst. So if you're on controller and if you have not used the AC-42, I highly recommend that. Factory barrel, STNR laser sight, and standard issue extended. If you want to slap on high power, that'll just make this thing sort of a burst fire DMR sort of deal. It's very, very good any way you set it up. The old king of Battlefield 2042, the RM68s. The setup remains the same for this gun. Shortened barrel, MGL laser sight, standard issue extended, close combat, and high power. Still a very, very viable AR. One of the most accurate ARs in the game, even after the nerfs, the GEW46. Factory barrel, BCG light grip, and high power extended. Incredibly effective. Do not sleep in that gun at range. And the new king of Battlefield 2042, the VHX D3. I recommend using the... Whoa, what is going on here? I recommend using the Arcom Tactical Muzzle Brake, LS1 laser sight, and standard issue extended, standard issue, then high power. I believe this setup really quells its horizontal recoil quite a bit. If you're on controller, you can probably get away with using factory barrel because it essentially does what the Arcom does anyway, but just for free. So, yeah. That is the VHX. M16A3. This is my favorite setup I've found for this gun. I've messed around with this gun a ton. I haven't found a setup that feels better than this. Arcom Tactical Muzzle Brake, STNR laser sight, standard issue extended, then standard issue. This gun also has unique M26 buck and flechette and all that sort of stuff. It's kind of crazy. ACWR, unfortunately, recently nerfed. It's still very good, though. Default muzzle, STNR laser sight, standard issue extended. Nothing really to write home about there. It's still quite good, although nerfed. AN91. I'm torn between factory barrel and tactical compensator. If you find you are having trouble with the recoil of the AN91, just use factory barrel. If you find you are not having trouble, use tactical compensator for that increased accuracy. Actually, laser sight and standard issue extended. Sorry, sometimes these setups switch themselves around. But I have a note here where I write down everything that I'm trying to talk about. Factory barrel on the M16A4, still a great gun. Factory barrel, LWG, or BCG light grip. It just depends what you're comfortable with. The difference is the BCG light grip is accuracy all the time, no matter if you're moving or aiming down sights. And the LWG grip is more accuracy while moving, but it actually diminishes your accuracy while standing still. If you don't stand still, use the LWG. And then, of course, just fill out your mags here. MTAR-21. Factory barrel, LWG, or laser sight. It's a very close quarter AR. You could get away with running laser sight, which is why I have it here. And of course, fill out your mags. And then AK-971. This gun was recently reworked, ladies and gentlemen. Everything about it was reworked. Its reload animations, its handling, its recoil camera behavior. I used it today, and I can say that this gun's actually not that bad anymore. It used to be arguably the worst AR in the entire game, which is shocking for a weapon as legendary as the AK-971. Arcom Tactical Muzzle Brake, laser sight, and fill out your magazines. Use the extended mag in the first slot. So that is the AR category. Moving on to the LMG category, which has been newly buffed and are actually viable to use again, ladies and gentlemen. Shortened barrel on the LCMG, LWG grip, standard issue extended, high power, and close combat. Standard issue extended has faster time to kill than close combat, ladies and gentlemen. RPM is not everything. Remember that. Avances. I like using the tactical compensator and BCG light grip. This gun is a laser at range, which is why I recommend this super accurate setup. Standard issue extended, standard issue. If you're having trouble with the recoil, just replace tac comp with factory barrel. You should be good to go. PKP. Shockingly, this gun is actually good after the recoil bug fix. You can actually use this gun now. Arcom Tactical Muzzle Brake, high power extended, high power, and standard issue. RPG-31 remains probably the most accurate LMG. Shortened barrel, BCG light grip, and high power extended, high power, and standard issue. Standard issue takes this weapon all the way up to 790 RPM, which is absolutely nuts. Moving on to the M60. This gun is crazy accurate with tac comp and BCG light grip. You can even use it as a DMR, which is why I have a thermal. I wouldn't recommend that, but this gun is crazy accurate as well and has good TTK. So you just make sure to fill out your mags here as well. Or I guess your, what do you call these? Your box magazines, your cloth, I don't know. Nutsack. That's what they call it on the M249. Speaking of nutsack, well, it's actually a D100 drum. Factory barrel, laser sight, and standard issue. There's not much to talk about there with the XM8. M240B, tac comp, LWG grip, and standard issue extended. Type 88, this gun is terrible. Don't use it. Factory barrel and foregrip here, or you can use the laser sight. I wouldn't use this gun at all ever though. And lastly, the RPK-74M TACCOM laser sight, standard issue extended. I wish it was better, but it's not. Moving on to the marksman category, the DM7. Tried a bunch of different setups for this gun, and this is my favorite. Factory barrel, BCG light grip, standard issue extended, high power, and close combat. Don't sleep on close combat. Actually switch to it if you are in a close quarter situation. I find it to be very, very good. SVK. Insane high fire rate 2-shot DMR. It's broken. Use shortened barrel, STNR laser sight, and standard issue extended. VCAR, newly buffed and insane, ladies and gentlemen. The VCAR is crazy. I'm surprised people don't use it. I'm actually happy people don't use it because it has a 200 millisecond TTK, which means you instantly die. Shortened barrel, laser sight, and close combat drum. This thing insta-kills you in mid-range. Insta-kills you. You die. VSVM, nerfed about 900 times, still good. Shortened suppressor, LWG or BCG light grip. High power extended. Subsonic high power extended. And close combat. If you want to turn this gun into an SMG on the fly, ladies and gentlemen, use short barrel, close combat. It's crazy. Gives the gun like, I think, yeah, 860 RPM. Crazy. The new DMR, probably the most overpowered DMR in the entire game right now. 2-shot up to 40 meters with standard issue extended, 2-shot up to 50 meters with high power extended, and it is full auto, ladies and gentlemen. Factory barrel, MGL laser sight, standard issue extended, standard issue, and high power. Crazy, crazy gun. Basically no recoil. Use that. M39 EMR, champion muzzle brake, laser sight, standard issue extended. 29 rounds in a magazine with one in the chamber. SVD, a worse version of the M39 EMR. Champion muzzle brake. What the hell's going on here? Laser sight and standard issue extended. Moving on to the sniper category. Bolt actions are pretty much the same, ladies and gentlemen. So basically just use whatever you want. On the barrel, if you want a faster fire rate, use shortened barrel. If you want faster bullet velocity, use long barrel. But in general, I recommend using your underbarrel attachments. HE grenade launcher, shotguns, laser sights, standard issue extended. If you want to do more damage, use high power. Bolt actions really are the attachments matter the least on bolt actions. SWS is your jack of all trades, so is your XCE bar. Your DXR is your super long range sniper. So I say bolster its best attributes. Use its extended barrel for even faster bullet velocity. I believe 1,000 meters a second or just under it. High power, standard issue extended, and standard issue. NTW 50. Do not sleep on this gun for anti-vehicle. It fucks vehicles up, and they hate it. They hate it, and people don't use it. If you want to one-shot people in the chest as well, use anti-material. If you want to do a bunch of damage to vehicles, use anti-material high power. XCE bar, a fast-firing sniper rifle. You know, it's a bit more CQC. Again, doesn't really matter much. If you want like more accuracy while moving, I use the tactical compensator. I feel as though it gives me a little bit of a an edge. And use laser sight. See what I mean with attachments switching? Like, I would never use a bipod on this gun. Use TACCOM, laser sight, standard issue extended, standard issue, and close combat. And finally, in the sniper category, Gall Sniper Magnum, a throwback from, I believe, Battlefield Bad Company 2. This gun has nothing to talk about, except use the extended mag, because they added that to it. And finally, the last category, ladies and gentlemen. If you've enjoyed the video so far, if you've found this informative, subscribe to the channel, like the video. Thank you to everyone that does that. I really do appreciate it. And comment down below, do you want to see more of these update videos or less of these update videos? Because I can make more, because there are technically, you know, more changes here and there with some weapons sometimes. But MCS 880, the worst shotgun in the game, became the best shotgun in the game. Go figure. Dice balancing is amazing. Use factory barrel, laser sight, and number 4 buckshot. I did a ton of testing. Number 4 buckshot is statistically the best buckshot you can use. The worst buckshot is double-aught buckshot. Do not ever use double-aught buckshot. It is dog shit. Use number 4, number 1, and flechette, or you can use slugs if you're that type of guy. The Government 4570, use tactical compensator or factory barrel, laser sight, high power, standard extended, armor piercing, 12M. If you use the 12M, I hate you, and I hope you stub your toe on multiple granite fucking countertops or like steps or something. Shortened barrel, MGL laser sight, and buckshot. It is completely broken and overpowered. Dice, please nerf it. Crossbow. This thing's nuts. Do not sleep on this. It's crazy. It one-shots you. If you're accurate, this thing's a menace within 20 meters. Laser sight and standard bolt, or you can even use explosive bolts. The best sniper in the entire game, still to this day. It completely invalidates every single bolt action if and only if you can deal with the 1-second charge delay. If you can deal with the 1-second charge delay, this is the most overpowered sniper they've ever added to a Battlefield game, period, end of story. The way this gun works is, if you want to switch it between multiple different modes, you use different ammo types. High power capacitor is the sniper ammo, stream capacitor is the full auto ammo, and the capacitor that you never use ever is the burst capacitor. Do not ever use that. This is why I have it unequipped. And the final weapon of the entire video, the NVK S22. A decent shotgun, but outclassed by the 12M and the 880. Factory barrel, laser sight, and number 1 buckshot. Holy shit. Okay, well, we're done with this video. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, follow me on Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, follow my Twitch streams. I stream every single day. I might stream on YouTube, ladies and gentlemen, at the same time as streaming on Twitch, because Twitch lifted multi-streaming bans, so turn channel notifications on for that. Check out the new mouse pads, use code ENDERS to save 10%. Try Glitch Energy, code ENDERS for 20% off. All links in the description. I love all of you. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys later.